You know exactly what you want to be when you grow up.
I want to be a mobile app developer when I grow up. I want to be an architect when I grow up.
I want to be a teacher.
I'm going to be a chef when I grow up, and I will help my dad.
I'm going to be a Lego creator when I grow up. And I'm here to tell you what I want to be when I grow up. Guys, it's not about what you want to be when you grow up. It's about what you want to be now. So what I want to be now is a businessman. Bye.
Stay tuned because I'm going to help you resolve some of the issues that you have around these questions so that you can, with clarity, understand with 100% certainty what you want for your life. So you often hear adults saying, wow, I really wish I knew then what I know now. And I would have loved to have been something else, or I would have loved to have followed my dream. And do you not ask the question, well, why didn't you? It's because as young people, we are formed by society, by school, by parents to believe that we are supposed to do things a certain way, be certain people, that we have been told all of our life that society says that this is how it should be. You go to school, then you go to college, then you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you retire, hopefully you vacation, and then it's all over. Right? Okay. But what are you doing in the middle? And so I am going to help you understand how to not get caught in that trap of what society thinks you should do or be, right? So let's start here. You're young, right? And when you're born, we all believe in Santa Claus, right? Most of us have that tradition that Santa Claus is a part of us growing up as a child. And then all of a sudden, when we are told that he doesn't exist, that, it was just some reasoning why we were told that, we then are like, oh. And then it's almost like in that moment, when that shift happens, we're then told that we need to be realistic, right? Because thinking about it, I stopped and I said to myself, well, where did it stop? Once, you're little and you could be anything, have anything, be anything you want, superhero, your dreams can come true. And then where is that cutoff where we go from dreamers in childlike to where we need to be realistic with what we want to be when we grow up? I don't know. Where did that happen? And so then we're pushed through middle school, pushed through high school without a real clear definition of, well, what's possible? What can I do? Other than your typical doctor, lawyer, nurse, teacher, police officer, fireman, right? And there's such a world of opportunity out there that we don't even know about. So here's what I do with my students, okay? And so I love doing this practice with them. And I want you to do it too, because I guarantee it will at least help you find clarity in what you enjoy or what you love to do. And on the other side of it too is always when you get the opportunity to have different experiences, whether you think you're going to like it or not, take them. Because at least then you'll know you didn't like it. And then on the other hand though, you may turn out to like something that you didn't think you would like, and that can make all the difference. And I'll share a story with you about a young girl towards the end of this, but I want to start with you with number one. So here I have my little handy dandy notebook that I take with notes, and I was working with this young boy. He's 14 years old, and he just wasn't interested in anything, right? He's at home. He's not even attending school right now. And he's thinking about getting a job. So at least he's doing something. And I'm like, what is happening here? So I said to him, do me a favor for the next time that we meet together. I want you to think of 15 things that you like or that you love, right? It could be anything. It could be eating ice cream, right? Because I always say that there's ice cream tasters out there, right? People have to, there's food tasters. So anything that it is that brings you joy, that you love to do, make a list of 15 things and really think hard about it, okay? Don't just put down 5 and say, oh, that's it, okay? And if you want to, you can do it right now, pause the video, but you don't have to. You can wait till the end, but do this, 15, okay? Then so he made the list, and his list was skiing, he loves animals, video games, fishing, construction, music, buying clothes, hanging out with his friends, jumping on a trampoline, longboarding, sneakers. He loves his bed, sleeping, hit the ocean, scootering, and dirt bikes. Okay? And so then I said to him, all right, so let's think about these things. So I just gave him an example for a couple of them. So I went with the construction, right? Now, in certain areas, in certain cities, there is a group called Habitat for Humanity, right? So I said, go and volunteer for this group if they're in your area, or find a person that does construction or carpentry or whatever it might be, and ask them if you can volunteer to assist them, right? Be responsible about it. Don't just say, can I volunteer? And they say yes, and then you show up once or twice and not at all. Give it a good try. Give it a solid month of doing it. Don't just start and say, I don't really like the first day, right? Who really knows what they like the first time they do it? So give it a good month. And then you could see if you think that it's something that you would enjoy doing, okay? The other thing that I want you to think about is then, I'll get to that in a minute. But what he gave him, he said animals. And I said, okay. So I took the example with animals and I said, what could you do with animals? So I said, well, domestic animals, farm animals. And I said to him, well, why don't you go and see if you could volunteer at a veterinary clinic, maybe, or a shelter, an animal shelter in your area. Or if you're in a rural area, maybe somebody is on the farm, right? And go and see what types of, and then do some research on what types of professions there are with animals, right? And one of the things that I had noticed I looked up was an animal dentist. Who would think of an animal dentist, right? At the zoo. And so these are things with the 15 things that you can go through and research and then say, okay, well, what can I do? What might I be able to volunteer to see if I really like this, right? And so as you're doing that, I then asked him, what is the one thing that you think you would really love to do? Okay? And his answer was live on a bus, a school bus, and turn it into like a camper and travel the world. And he'd really like to go to Alaska. And I said, okay, great. So what and how can you be able to do that, right? And so I gave him another exercise, another activity with it. But ultimately, in this world, we don't want to just say, what do I want to be when I grow up? What job do I want, right? You want to think what's going to fulfill you in doing for the rest of your life. You know, and a lot of times the other interesting question to ask, as opposed to what do you want to be when you grow up, is what problem do I want to solve, right? So for me right now, the problem I want to solve is helping young people to believe in themselves and make them understand what they want to do, have that confidence within them before they get to a point where they're older. It's never too late, but they're saying, gosh, why didn't I learn this information then? So that you can make the right choices for your life, for you, not what other people tell you you should be, not what other people say you have to do, but what you truly want. So ask yourself, sometimes the better question is, what problem do I want to solve, right? What problems are there in this world that I would love to be able to help and work to solve that problem, right? We spend 80% of our lives doing some sort of work or job to earn money. Most of the times when we grow up, we earn money by doing things that we don't really like to do, right? Cleaning the house, doing chores. And so we have in our mind that the work that we should be doing in order to earn money has to be work that we don't enjoy. But that's not true, right? So what you need to do is realize first, once you find what you love to do, then it's taking those steps to figure out, how do I make this my career? How do I make this my work for life and get paid for doing what I love to do? Or starting your own business in what you love to do, right? And that's really an important key and concept that most young people don't learn. So take those 15 items on your list, explore them. Go out and find in your area volunteer situations or people who work in those, doing those types of things, and try it out. And I'm going to leave you with one story. The story is of Naveen Jain and his daughter, Priyanka. Priyanka as she was growing up, like, her brothers were in tech, her dad's in tech, and she said, I want nothing to do with tech, right? I don't want anything to do with it. You may be good for you, but I don't want to have anything to do with it. So he said, okay, I will accept it if you go and experience it first. So what he did is he sent her to a program at what is called Singularity University. I think she was 16 years old or 15. And she did a program there. And when she finished that program, she was like, wow, all of these things that she had learned in how tech can ultimately help people in the world, whether it's biotech, whether it's computers. I don't know a lot about it myself. So now she has learned that she can help other people, which is ultimately what she wanted to do, and use that technology that she learned about and more to do what she loves, which is helping others. And she created a company called Evvy, EVVY, that uses tech to help people. Before that, she was working and helping in a different company how to, hiring and selecting candidates so that it's a non-biased selection. I don't know a lot about it, but and the fact that she needed tech in order to do that. So what she thought she didn't like or didn't want to have or didn't want to experience, wanted to wash her hands of it, wanted nothing to do with, ultimately turned out to be the greatest experience. Her dad saying, okay, you don't have to, but I at least want you to try. And once she tried, she realized and was grateful that her dad did that and had her experience that before she gave it a solid no. So, hope you took some lessons, some wisdom away from today's video. Go and do what the 15 steps, and then ask yourself, what is the thing that you want to do the most, right? What is a problem that you want to solve? You know, what is your ultimate goal or dream for you right now? And write those out and get yourself some clarity. And if you need any help with that, you know, look down into the comments or into the summary of this video, and you can contact me that way. So thank you. And remember, pretty soon you will have 100% certainty of what it is that you want to do with your life. Order the book Follows and Likes, Is This All That I'm Worth? And tune in to my podcast, The Secret to Success Isn't So Secret. Links are in the description below.